Welcome back all. I wanted to make some changes to some of the mesh to fix the mesh up. So if you look here and notice on the belt, we have that there's some mesh issues going on here because you can see where the texture is warping and there is a line through there. So there's something wrong with my mesh and we need to fix that up. All that there is, I need to go through and actually remove some of these things off here because some of it is stuff we don't actually need in here. There, see, that's fine. I'm going to delete that. Just go through and whatever if you've used some stuff and you're not using them in the materials, just delete them off. They don't need to be there. That looks fine for now. I don't mind a bit of those dark edges coming around. See, there's a bit of a mesh issue there as well. So obviously we've got possibly a So we've got possibly an edge loop there that is just interfering with that. So what we need to do is from here, I didn't do anything from here yet. So just go to your ZProject file that we have open, well that you have, and just open it from wherever it is. Go to your belt. Let's just click on solo for that. And let's try to figure out where these mesh issues are coming from. So we can see there is a bit of distortion here. So that may be fixed if we add some triangles into that. Alright. Let's take that out to 3D Coat, and let's have a good look at the meshes in 3D Coat. Belt. So what's happening is, let's open up the UV as well because we want to have a look at the UV. So if we unwrap that, we've got, I think, so there's issues here, and I'm not sure if there's too many issues there. What I might want to do is, let's see if changes made to it. I'm going to delete the back face of those. See if that helps with any of the issues we're having. Obviously there is. Let's add just some triangles here too, and see if that will fix anything. Not sure why that's not adding the triangles there. I should be able to add the triangles fine there. There you go. So you add the triangle there, and another triangle there, there, there. I think that should be enough for the triangles there. I'm just going to add them along here. We're just going to see if this fixes anything with the mesh. Alright. It's possibly because there's no seam, so there's the seam that's there. Alright, let's unwrap that. And what's that bit there? That's alright, so we want to put just loop around there, and then unwrap that again. I think what was happening up here is because let's no, I don't know if I want to do that. Let's just unwrap that packet and send it back out to export it back to the belt. What I'm going to do here though is do a belt 02, open up a ZBrush, and I'm going to hide that belt, duplicate it, and then import the belt 02 into it, and I'm going to rename that belt. So we've got our original belt up here that we've hidden. When we export it, it won't export out again. So now we've got the new mesh that we're working on. I just want to keep the other one for backup purposes. So let's give them their UVs again, and send that back out now. No, yeah, we'll send that back out, but we're going to send that as the whole FBX again. So we're going to update that original FBX. So we're going to export it out. Now, what I will do here though is create a Templar B. So then it's a separate FBX there. So that will export out everything. The other thing you need to consider as well is when you are importing things back in, make sure they are the exact same name in Substance Painter, or else they'll come in and they'll have a changed name and the other one will be blacked out because it's not included. So what we do here is, as you can see here, let me show you on the belt. If I can select this and go to the vertices, you will see that those are the vertices of the squares. Now, if to import that in to overwrite it, we have to overwrite all of them together. To do that, you go to your file, your edit section, and go to project configuration. Leave all those settings the same, and in file, select, go to your FBX model, import your new FBX, and OK. Give that a bit of time to configure. We may need to re-add the color IDs to the belt also. So basically what's happened here is the UV has changed on the belt. Now it does not have those color IDs anymore because those color IDs have changed. So let's firstly untick everything in your belt, go to bake mesh, and make sure you just rebake the mesh also, that's the same settings as before, don't change anything else, just rebake the belt maps. This will unify the UVs to the new, unify all the rest of those maps to the new UV layout, and we still have those issues there. So if we go to the color ID, we need to redo this color ID. So let's hide them. So in the color ID, we can go to green, and just take everything off that for now. The red, take it all off for now. So that mesh doesn't save an occlusion on that mesh, take that off. That's fine. Now with the color ID, we can give it its colors back. Let's give it the color there. You'll need to select the outsides as they are separate meshes, and the red is going to be there, and that one. The green also is going to be here and on the back of that and that one there. So redo your export textures for the belt. Setting back up the textures, color ID, that's fine. Open your directory and import your belt, your new belt color ID back in. And then overwrite the other belt color ID. Now with that done, we can take them off and select there. Now we have, that definitely looks like there is no more stretching along here, and that's got the new mesh in there. We also have, there's no issues with that up here. Now we do have an issue though with the buckle. So we have no issues with anything else except for the buckle. But that looks fine, even if it's the way, that looks fine. You're only going to basically be seeing the front of it anyway. So that's why we've given it the layers like that. So let's go back in to ZBrush and find out what issues we're having with that buckle. It's possibly because I'm unsure why. Let's have a look at it in. Let's remove everything except that buckle. Okay. Now we've got a loop around there. So there may not be the correct loops here. So let's give these there some the loops. There. Just cut that one. Yeah, cut that one off. This one. So it's some different colors there. Let's see if we can, if that helps at all. Now turn everything back on and go to unwrap. It's not liking what's happening here. So what I want to do is possibly add a loop. Let's turn everything off again. So I can just see what I'm doing here. I think I want to add a loop through here. And then we'll see how that goes. Bring the rest of that back. And unwrap. I think that may have just blended out those there a little bit better now. Yeah, they've separated here a bit better. As you can see, they're a bit more open now. So let's unwrap that, pack that, and send that back to belt 02. We're going to bring it in over the belt. Import the belt 02. Rename that to belt, and then give it its polygroups UV merge similar. Maybe I didn't merge them. That's probably why it did what it did. Let's have a look at that now. We export the back to FBX. Template B, yep. And then in your substance panel, so go back to edit project and open up the new updated Templar model and let us do its thing for a minute. You see that's no longer doing a bit of the tearing that it was doing. but we need to go through and just redo those color maps again. So the red does not look like it has stuck there and there. Turn it off and there. So now just export that back up. Belt, yes. Open directory, close that. Bring in the new belt ID and change it over there. Now redo your maps again. I'm doing it without the enemy occlusion this time because looked like there was a bit of an issue there with the enemy occlusion. But now we have the mesh brought back in, and as you can see, there is no longer any tearing around that buckle there. That texture looks all fine there. So now that looks pretty good. That's how I go through and fix my mesh issues. You can see it all in Substance Painter, because you can definitely tell that there is a mesh issue because the paint is stretching. And this is why I haven't uploaded anything into Character Creator yet, because there's no point, because if I have to rechange the mesh, then I have to re-upload and do all the put all the OBJs back in and everything, and then it's just overwrite everything. That's why it's done at the last point once everything has been fixed. All the mesh has been fixed here. So with that done, you now know how to fix your mesh issues, and also import it back in through the FBX. Just updating your FBX, bring that whole FBX in, and it brings all of it in. As you can see, nothing else changed on the other model, so I don't need to change anything at all. I'd only changed the model of the one that was updated. I find that this is really a really good way of doing it, opposed to doing them all individually. And if also you get to do all of these together. Now, I like doing them this way. So I'm going to go through and edit the chainmail shirt. I'm just going to add a bit, give it a neck bit, so it's going to come up to his neck a little bit. And also there is some mesh issues in the shoulder armor here. Just like, as you can see, the paint is stretching, so there's obvious mesh issues there where the paint is stretching. And I'll go through and fix that up, but I'm just going to turn my music on and fast forward through it, so you don't need to I don't need to go through it, since I've just gone through it with you with the belt. You just do exactly the same thing, and I will catch you at the end of the video. Alright, so I've just had a bit of an issue here. What I've done was, when I said before, do not change the name of your armor, because it did that and went out and popped out the other armor, so it hasn't overwritten it. It's added a new one in and deleted the old one. So to do that, to fix that, we're going to go back here to our ZBrush and make sure you rename that to the correct naming. They all need to be the same name as they come back in to overwrite them. which I didn't do myself. So, have errors. Everyone makes mistakes. And now let's just re-import that back into the project configurations in template B. What will happen now is it will delete. Well, it'll add that other shoulder armor in, and then overwrite that shoulder armor, and then it will delete the other shoulder armor that's in here. Now, when you have them down here, you can't do anything with them. So what you need to do is go to the settings tab, open up your import reassign texture sets, and from here you can grab that armor C and delete it, and then apply. That will remove it from your project here. So it's easily enough fixed. It's easily fixed. So just remember that. Just remember that when you are doing it, to make sure that you just remember that when you are doing it, to make sure that you have them all the same name. Also, the mesh came back in. It's came in overwritten all this, so remember to just come back in here, turn everything off, rebake your maps for the shoulder armor. That will reapply your UVs, and then also remember to go through and change your color IDs. Well, actually, we didn't actually, nothing changed really there, because all I did was on the edges, I forgot to add a single little loop in to separate the mesh. So that should be fine. I'm going to let's have a look here first. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Alright, so let's because it's still got the old color already on it. The UVs have changed, so let's export that out and bring the shoulder armor, export, done. We can grab the shoulder armor ID and import it in, and add that onto there. Now we can turn that off and add those back in, and that should have just overwritten that. As you can see here, the mesh now it's no longer teary here. The paint, it's not warped, so those UVs look a lot better. Just by adding that one tiny little addition to the UV layer for the UV map. Alright, I'm just going to turn my music back on, and we'll fast forward through again. Alright, as you can see, I've just added a bit of detail into the cloth of the Templar, the robes. That is, I just added the cross there for him. I think it looks alright there, rather than putting it into the actual, using a paint to put it on. I've just stitched it into the texture maps to the UV layer. So what I've done was, if I can show you just here, in the color paint, I just painted it on there as an ID. The color ID and switched it, and just added the same colors. I've also added an extra bit at the top, and then make it look a bit better. His chainmail shirt has now gone up to his neck. So if I just turn that on quickly, and remember, just ignore that mesh coming through. Turn that on quickly, turn his helmet off. It's going all the way up to his neck now. I think that chainmail looks good there. So let's turn it off. But we're getting a lot of extra detail going on here. And the next video we'll go through. I've also done a little bit of adding some folds in here. Next video, I'll just go over adding folds through just remodeling in ZBrush and 3D Coat if needed, and then bringing those models back in. Also adding folds from materials. So fake folds, just bump maps into that, and then also some shading for the folds. So we're going to have a bit more in the next one. But so far this is looking really good. One more thing as well is I don't know if I like the brown leather. I think I might change that to a dark grey leather or a black leather. It's more suiting to his to the armor, I believe, from what I'm trying to go for here. But we'll see you in the next video. See you guys.